All right, now we're going to talk about the Jags and Dolphins in a moment. First, I want to tell you about what's been going on at Smash Mouth Sports. How'd you like to be 17-0 in football? It's exactly what Smash Mouth clients are right now. It's been a fantastic start, and we've only played the Hall of Fame game. How are we 17-0? We won the Arena Football Championship. We're 15-0 on our current run in the CFL, and of course we hit our game of the month in preseason football easily with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17-0. What I'm trying to say here is, got goalposts, get Smash Mouth. We win. If they're playing on a gridiron, we win. And this weekend is free in both preseason football and the CFL. All you have to do is call 1-800-521-1872, and you will receive the entire weekend of CFL, NFL preseason, and Major League Baseball free from Smash Mouth Sports. Now let's talk a game that I have definitely sunk my teeth into, so to speak. That is the Jags and Dolphins. Now, at the top of the show, we gave you some things to think about when you're handicapping preseason football. One of those has been the way that the games have been going under over the past couple of years. Talk about major adjustments. This game opened in the mid-30s, and Sunday night, I'm looking at the game and I'm going, wow, it's gone from the mid-30s down to 30.5, 31 in a blink of an eye. Well, folks, I jumped on the over. It's kind of inched its way back up a little bit since then, but it's still a low total. And look at what we're getting here. First of all, talk about first-year coaches. You got Cam Cameron with the Miami Dolphins, who obviously is an offensive mind. I always love it when an organization goes out and gets an offensive-minded guy as their new head coach. You can go out and hire a great defensive coordinator. I want a guy with some imagination. Cameron last year led the San Diego Charger offense. He was their offensive coordinator, and of course it was the best offense in the NFL. So I look for him to open things up. They're going to have some new tight end wrinkles with this offense. Also, he said, we're going to be very aggressive in camp and in preseason. Now, what it's done is it's led to a lot of long pass plays. It's also led to a ton of INTs. Now, what that means is Miami's either going to score quickly or they're going to give up field position deep in their own end at times, because Cameron said he doesn't really care about the winning and losing right now. He wants to see his quarterbacks be as aggressive as possible. On the other side of the football, we've got some new coaches. We've got Dirk Cutter, the ex-Arizona State coach, great offensive mind. He had great offensive ingenuity when he was at Boise State, and now he's going to bring it to pro football. And from everything we've heard about Dirk Cutter, the players are really buying into what he's selling. Also, Mike Shula, maybe not a great head coach, but this guy knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. And if you've seen what's happening so far in camp, he has turned Byron Leftwich into a quick hit, quick decision, decisive, fire that ball in there quarterback. His actual speed of when he starts to bring the ball back and release it is the same. But his footwork is night and day better than it's ever been in his entire football playing career. And they've talked about that. Shula said, the first thing I did when I watched tapes of this kid was see, wow, nobody's ever worked with his footwork. He is now firing the ball a split second quicker. He's getting the ball out to his receivers better. He may not play much in this game, but they've got a nice stable behind him as far as quarterbacks are concerned. You've got Garrard, first of all, a great number two. So I think you're going to see these two teams just firing it up, doing a lot of the things they're going to want to do in the regular season offensively. And when you throw in the potential for Miami's interceptions and Jacksonville short field situations thrown into the mix, I think you've got a great recipe for an over. And heck, we jumped in when we saw that drop down to 30.5, 31. Now, like I said, it inched up a little bit, but I still think this game lands in the low to mid 40s. I like it over, Glenn.
Well, a lot of times people realize, you got to realize too, is mistakes can also score you points, and that's what you mentioned, the possibility of some turnovers. And I tell you what, this is an example where if Trent Green were still with Kansas City, you wouldn't see him at all in this game, or maybe a series. You might see a little bit more from him because he's with a new ball club. And if you folks were listening earlier when we were talking about quarterback rotations in the first segment, Scott mentioned a guy named Lemon, quarterback who's an excellent quarterback. This guy will see some minutes too. So you've got two guys here that can put points on the board for you. I think it's a great spot for the total. I couldn't agree more for you. Leftwich, Garrard, I really like him. Let's face it, he became the starter last season. Now they've got two guys, and they're going to have to make a determination. So once again, you might see them both playing a little bit more minutes than you normally would, because you've got two quarterbacks vying for a definite spot as the number one guy. So I think this works out very well as an over.
So we got a consensus on the over on the Jags and Dolphins. And folks, hey, don't forget about the free pick phone. Winners every season. They're up right now. The number's on the screen right now. Also, be sure to check back with us next week and each week throughout the preseason, as we will have a new show each and every weekend for preseason football. We'll talk some college football at the end of August, so stay tuned for that. May all your bets, that is, be winners this weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks for watching us this week, and be sure to catch Proline on the web next weekend, available Friday nights for more great insight.